speech, I now look to Rabbi Dr. Jonathan Romain to continue the case for the opposition.
Well, we've had some good arguments so far on both sides, haven't we? And I don't know about you, but I was really struck by what the motion does not say. This House would move beyond religion. And instead it stipulates that organised religion is what's past its sell-by date. Now, to my mind, it means that the motion admits right away from the start that religion itself does have a role, and that the problem is just with the organised bit. And in fact, we know, don't we, how important religion is in the wider sense of people still asking all those big questions that religion asks. Who am I? What's the purpose of life? Where do I fit in? What's going to happen afterwards? And religion is an attempt to answer those questions, with different religions offering different responses, and which is why sometimes people convert, because the theological grass on the other side is often greener and speaks more meaningfully to them. Now, of course, you can have non-religious answers, humanism, nihilism, whatever, and they may be more attractive to some people. But either way, religion works for millions of people and clearly has a place and is here to stay. So let's move on to the adjective, organised religion. And if we accept that religion has a place, then why on earth should it not be organised? And to explore that further, let's look at the track record so far. And you might think, blimey, that's a bit of a difficult route to take, and we've heard already. And you're right, that the track record is open to criticism. And I want to show that we, this side, acknowledge them, and it's not just the prerogative of the other side. So let's admit the suffering that religion has caused, with individuals persecuted for believing the wrong thing in the past. Let's hold our hands up to the wars religion has caused, fighting for the supremacy of the true faith, as it was seen by whoever held it. And let's be open about the conflicts, not just between faiths, Christians against Jews, Muslims against Hindus, but also within faiths, Catholics against Protestants, Sunnis against Shias. And if that was the entire story of the track record, this debate would be well and truly over. But there are two other highly significant factors to consider. First, horrific as this history is, it's often to do with human nature rather than religion itself. And we know that because other societies, non-religious societies, also have a terrible track record, whether it's Pol Pot's Cambodia, Stalin's Russia, or Mao's China. I remember back in the 1960s when John Lennon launched a campaign to ban all guns in the world, and he placed an advert in the papers saying, "Let's ban guns." I was about 15 at the time, and I saw it and wrote back saying, yeah, I agree in principle, but in practice, surely nothing's going to change because people would just fight with sticks and stones instead, as in fact they had done before guns were invented. To be honest, looking back, I think I hoped he'd reply and I'd end up with a letter signed by John Lennon, which he didn't do. But the point still stands. It's human nature to fight. It's just a matter of what with. Swords, guns, tanks, missiles. It's the same with organised religion. People will use it as a cover for power and control. And if they don't use religion, they'll use some other ideology or fictional excuse. So religion is often hijacked. And despite the teachings about us coming all from the same source, needing to be valued, which screams out from all of our religious texts, people find ways of ignoring it. And that sometimes includes us lot, those in the religious hierarchy, which is why some abuse children. And others, the majority, spend their lives helping the vulnerable, the impoverished, the marginalized. And the problem is not individuals. The problem is individuals, not organised religion. But the second point about organised religion's track record is there's also an incredible amount of positives, aren't there? I mean, start counting. 1, think of the art it has produced. 2, the music it has inspired. 3, the architecture it's led to. 4, the schools it set up and how it pioneered the educational system we now take for granted. 5, the hospitals it founded, which saved so many people in so many parts of the years over the centuries. 6, even in modern times, when the state has taken over so many functions, such as the schools and the hospitals, religious groups have been at the forefront of, well, you think about it, you tell me, soup kitchens, food banks, hostels for the homeless, drug rehabilitation centres, climate change activism. Not exclusively, others are involved too, but religion is there at the front line.
On that point.
Order, is it a point of information? Well, like, if it's a point of information, you need to introduce it as a point of information.
What it means is that organised religion can be a path to cruelty or source of inspiration. It can produce the IRA or Desmond Tutu. It can lead to the Inquisition or the Dalai Lama. It all depends on the people who use it or abuse it. And although there have been some very violent strains within Christianity, such as those targeting abortion clinics, they are a tiny minority of all Christians, just as the violent extremists within Islam, as we heard, are not representative of all Muslims. And for most people of faith, love your neighbour as yourself, or variations of it, is still the golden rule. So, without in the least claiming that religion, or is the organised religion, is the only way or the perfect way, it certainly has a powerful role to play. And as for the other positives, well, they operate on two other levels. First, individually, giving a sense of their personal responsibility, extra ballast, so they're told, thou shalt be good. You should give to charity. It's a command, as opposed to, well, I think it's a pretty good idea to be good, or I reckon I'll give to charity, a personal whim rather than a command. At the same time, it offers a sense of purpose. Everyone counts. Everyone has a role. We can find meaning in this chaotic inferno that we call reality. And the second point of organised religion is a template for society as a whole, providing a sense of community. It lifts people's gaze beyond themselves, links them into the wider world, stresses that they are part of the family of humanity. It offers them a window onto others rather than a mirror about themselves. It gets them altruistic rather than self-absorbed. Something that's even more important in Britain today, when so many other institutions are disappearing: the local pub, the village shop, the village hall, the local post office. Places of worship are they're community centres, bringing people together, acting as a link, offering a sense of camaraderie. And that should be no surprise, because I'm sure you all know religion comes from the Latin word religio, to bind, binding together, whether it's individuals or family or society. And so too, when we join together in prayer, sing hymns, have a festive meal or rituals. And so, far from being past it, organised religion is getting better at it. It's learning from the mistakes of the past, finding new ways forward. We've learned that it's been better to separate from the ruling power, not aligned with it, so that we can speak out against injustices, speak up for the oppressed. We've learned to accept diversity, with astonishing leaps forward in interfaith dialogue in the last 80 years, not only tolerating those who are different from us, but seeing value in their truths, recognizing there are many paths to God and not just the one that we prefer. We're making sure that organised religion is fit for purpose. We don't need to move on from organised religion, as the motion suggests, because organised religion has moved on with us. But let me end with a converse. Life without organised religion. No Christmas, no Passover meal, no Ramadan, no Ten Commandments, no love your neighbour as yourself. Individuals without an organised religion would feel less grounded, less connected. Society without organised religion will be colder, less welcoming, while the safety net of those who are vulnerable, feel alone, or are lost in life, that safety net will be removed and they'd fall even further. So rather than move on from organised religion, we need to stick with it, adapt it when outdated, and celebrate it when it helps people to have fuller lives.